Hey everyone, today's episode 2 of Cornertalks. Before we get started, as you guys see, I am by myself for this episode. The reason why is that my co-host, Meech, has a lot of personal stuff going on, so he'll be joining us in about a month. So I'll be running the show until then. And so let's get started. So since our first episode, NBA season was pretty much about to start, or was starting. A lot of trades happened, and then the NFL still early. Ever since then, a lot of stuff has happened. NBA injuries, wins and losses, as well as NFL injuries and wins and losses. So a lot of stuff has happened since we last did it. Now, we're going to be talking about the MLB, first things first. I know we didn't talk about it last episode, but I wanted to, talk about the MLB since we're a sports podcast, Cornertalks, you know how it is. And we're not really going to be talking about MLB that much because Meech isn't really that into it, and he's still trying to learn it. So I'll just talk about it for the time being, maybe here and there when he comes back into the pod in a month. But yeah, let's talk about it. So, as you know, Dodgers won the World Series, and free agency is pretty much already started. We got a couple of deals here and there, just not that many well-known players in the MLB that got signed. The most recent signing was Travis d'Arnaud from the Atlanta Braves. He got signed for a 2-year, $12 million deal to the LA Angels, Anaheim Angels, want to call it. I think it's a really good deal for the Angels. They needed a catcher. I think it's a better deal that they had since I don't know when. But really good deal for the Angels. For Travis d'Arnaud, that Angel organization isn't the greatest. They're very dysfunctional. I don't know what they're doing over there. They have a lot of good players. They just don't know how to run it. As for other players, signings, what other signings we got? There's not that many good players that I can really talk about that got signed. I want to talk about the main, impactful, well-known players that you guys know. But we did have a couple of trades, but one trade I want to talk about as a New York Mets fan is Jose Siri. He got traded to the New York Mets from the Tampa Bay Rays, as the Rays acquired Eric Ortiz, if I said it right. So I think this is a really good deal for the Mets, but I think it's a good deal for both sides. The reason why I'm going to say each side is a good deal is for the Mets side, you are paying a player that really owes $2 million a year until 2027, has a lot of speed, defense. Hitting isn't the greatest. He had 25 home runs, but his average is not the greatest. I think it's like 180 to 215. It's not the greatest, but we need speed, we need defense, we need a backup outfielder. And he's our replacement for Harrison Bader. Since Harrison Bader is not going to be on the Mets this season, it's sad, but he wanted $10 to $12 million deal. And he maybe hits a little bit better, maybe the same as for Jose Siri. But I'm not going to pay a guy $10, $12 million, even though he didn't really do all that. Like, he did help us, but, bro, we're not paying you that much money. We could pay that for a pitcher. But I think the Mets did a really good move by getting Jose Siri. I would say the same or a little bit of upgrade of Harrison Bader, but I like it. As for the Rays, they acquired Eric Ortiz, is that right? He is a really good minor league pitcher, but when it comes to major, he's not the greatest. His ERA in the minors like a 210 or a 180, something like that. I think it's like a 210 or 205, which is really good. But when he goes to the majors, he always has an issue. I don't know what the issue he has. He just may be nervous or whatever. But knowing the Rays, they're really good at fixing pitchers and making them really, really good. I think this is a good move for the Rays too. You get a pitcher that is good. You just gotta, tweak a little bit here and there. I think both sides won. I'm pretty happy for both sides. And yeah, we gotta have that. And then Japanese superstar, what's his name? I'm trying to find him. There he is. His name is Roki Sasaki. Is that right? I think I said it right. He is a free agent, so he's meeting with each team for the winter. It sounds like he may not sign with a team until after January 10th or 15th. We're not sure which team. I feel like the Dodgers might be the place to go for him because Shohei and LA and, the money. Who knows? But it's been LA the whole time since he wanted to, play in the major league. Sounds like LA might do it for him. Comment down below which team you guys think he could be signing with. I think the Dodgers. I would like to have him on the Mets, but I don't know. It's kind of right now with him. Then we had Juan Soto. So Juan Soto, one of the talked about names right now in the MLB. He is a free agent, as everyone knows. He met with a couple of teams right now: the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mets, and recently the Phillies. I'm not sure whoever else he's talked to. Maybe we have to wait. But it sounds like those 4 to 6 teams right there want to sign him. Red Sox are pushing pretty good for him, but I don't know about Boston. I'm kind of iffy. Blue Jays as well, but we don't know about them. I don't think he wants to go to Canada. Yankees. I don't even know if he'll go back to the Yankees though. Like, I feel like it's kind of iffy with him because the Yankees, they want him. They don't want to spend the money. Like, I'm sorry, but George Steinbrenner would be pissed right now at his son doing this. He would pay him automatically. He would have paid him middle of the season. He would have done it already. But Juan Soto wants a lot of money. And the only team that can give him that much money is Steve Cohen of the New York Mets. So the owner of the Mets has that money. And the Mets say that they'll give him even more money if a team, wants to meet at their level of offering him. So $50 million more the Mets want to give him if Juan Soto wants to join the Mets and another team to pretty much choose either or. But it sounds like everyone's saying he's going to choose the Mets because he left the Nationals for the Nationals offer him 15 years, $450 million, which, is wild to say. He was like a couple of years younger, so he would have been a free agent maybe like a couple of more years left. Well, no, I think he would have been a free agent when he's 40, my bad. And then he was like, I want to be in the Nationals. No offense, but they don't have that much money. He went to the Padres. Then Padres shipped him to the Yankees. And then, here we are. He wants over I think between $600 to $700 million deal that I feel like a couple of teams can offer him, but I don't think as much as the Mets want to offer him. If I'm going to choose a team that he'll join, I think it's the New York Mets automatically because of the money part, and we have a winning mentality right now. I know we're going to be losing a couple of players because they want big contracts. The Mets might do it, but who knows? But as for I want to be here for the rest of my career and I care, the Yankees. But that's if the Yankees are going to give him that much money, which they should. He should get the money. I feel like $600-something million a little bit too much for a player who doesn't do more than one thing like Shohei Ohtani. He does pitching and hitting. He's worth the $700 million deal. No offense to Soto, but you're like $500 mil, maybe $6 the most. But hey man, that's how the market is nowadays. You gotta match it, you gotta pay it, not like back in the 80s and 70s it's really cheap. You get players in with like not a lot of money. But hey man, what are you gonna do? And last but not least, before we end off the MLB section, we're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays. So they are planning to play the 2025 season at Steinbrenner Field, where the Yankees spring training facility is, the single A stadium. This comes after reports that Tropicana Field will not be playable until 2026 due to the damage from Hurricane Milton. So, as you guys may or may not know, the hurricane that hit Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas was impacting a lot of, teams, facilities and all. But the one that got the most hit is the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium. Tropicana Field is very old, been 30 to 40 years old. I went there a few times. It looks so outdated. They don't fix it up. The roof, it looks like it's a bed sheet roof. Like it looks like you can poke a hole with a pen. So when Hurricane Milton came, it ripped up the whole top of the roof. And they're like, all right, where are we going to play? So they were looking around Georgia, Tennessee, Miami, and then they ended up, talking with the Yankees. And I gotta commend a lot of props to the Yankees putting aside the rivalries, and letting them play at their facility. Because where else would the Rays play? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, you saw Toronto Blue Jays. They went to some facility in Florida, and then they went to a minor league stadium in Buffalo because they couldn't play during the COVID years. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. It's very interesting how this works with MLB, with the whole stadium. You're allowed to share it with other teams. I mean, I think it's nice for the Yankees to do it, but then again, the Yankees are making a lot of profit from this because they're playing over 80-something games, something like that, like a lot of games at that facility. So the Yankees are getting a lot of the money from it. Maybe the Rays will get some. Who knows? I have no idea, but I feel like the Yankees will get more of it. Maybe like 10-20% of the cut will go to the Rays because, you got to make some money, but who knows? But as you know, Tampa Bay doesn't really have a strong fan base. I mean, they do have it for hockey, but for football, baseball, it isn't the strongest like New York or LA or, not really Miami, but Chicago. But hey man, it's a small facility. You gotta play somewhere. You're playing close to home, and it's good. And yeah, guys, that's it for MLB. Now let's move on to what we talked about last time, is the NBA, NFL. So let's talk about the NFL. So we have a lot of stuff that happened in the NFL. As you know, team lost, team won. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about this past Sunday. Very interesting how many of these games played out. I can talk about the games before that, but as you know, it's been over a month. So, let's just talk about recent games that happened. Let me pull it up. So we had, so week 11. Week 11 already, fast. We had the Commanders versus Eagles. The Eagles won 26-18. I watched that game. That game was pretty good. I think that game was just, I feel like it was going to be a tough game because Commanders' defense was good. Eagles' defense was, alright. But the Commander team is much different than we knew in the past of that team. Washington Redskins, how bad they were in the past. But they changed the whole culture in that facility, in that team, organization overall. I love it. I love the new owner. He cares about winning. Now, as for the Raiders and Dolphins game, Raiders organization is just, I don't know what they're doing. Dolphins won 34-19. Dolphins, I'm not sure they're going to make the playoffs. Kind of iffy right now. Who knows? Next up, we got Browns versus Saints. Browns got whacked by the Saints, 35-14. Can't really go into detail about that. Just same old Browns. And Saints, I don't know what. They're 1 week they're winning and 1 week they're losing. It's confusing. Then we got my New York Jets. We'll talk about the organization soon. But the Jets lost in a heartbreaking loss, 28-27 versus the Colts. I'm not talking about that. Vikings won versus the Titans 23-13 easily. Titans aren't really good, and the Vikings are still rolling. They're 7-2 right now. The game of the week was Packers versus Bears, 20-19. Very interesting that game, how that ended. So the Bears doing really good, and then all of a sudden, they're down by a field goal. Well, not even 1 point, as you see. And then I saw the last play of the drive. They were moving down really good. They were in a groove. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like second or third down. I don't know what they were doing. They were supposed to run the ball, and they wanted to throw. You were at the 30-yard line, and you could have just ran the ball twice, and you had one timeout. And they ended up losing 8 yards from a sack. And then field goal unit came, and guess what happened? He kicked the ball. The long snapper pretty much didn't hold his ground right. Even the guys next to him didn't hold their ground right. And then, as you know, Packers defensive line put his hand up, blocked the ball, and game over. Packers won. If he didn't put his hand up, or if he didn't contact with the ball at all, I think the Bears would have won, because if you saw the ball, it looked like it was going to go down the middle or a little bit to the left. And the Bears should have won that game. They should have. Should have a better field position, maybe 25 or 20-yard line, kicking the ball, not 40-something yards. Wow. And then we got the next game, Lions versus Jaguars. Lions beat the hell out of the Jaguars, 52-6. And if you guys play fantasy football, you could have had Jared Goff, Gibbs, and Armand St. Brown. It's crazy. Jared Goff had 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. Gibbs didn't do the greatest. Him and Montgomery worked together, but Montgomery had a better stats with 15 carries, 75 yards, and 5.0 average, and 2 touchdowns. And then two wide receivers did good. St. Brown, like I said, 11 receptions, 161 yards, 14.6 average, and 2 touchdowns. Awesome. And then we got Williams, 4 receptions, 124 yards, 31 average, and 1 touchdown. This team is just rolling. They're without Aiden Hutchinson, if I said it right, on the defensive side, and also their middle linebacker just got injured. Looks like he might be out for a few weeks. And then they have injuries and all, but they're still pulling together. Defense got a lot of heart. Everyone's stepping up. Offense doing their thing like always. Coaching staffs are amazing. It's gonna sound kind of negative, but it sounds like the coaching staff for the Lions might be leaving this season coming up, because defensive coordinator is doing well, offensive coordinator is doing well, and a lot of teams need head coaches right now. The Jets, the Titans, maybe the Jaguars, of course, the Giants, if that happens. But they need head coaches, and they're best suited for it. I think it's a really good job of how that team is doing right now for the Lions. I think the last time the Lions were good, like really good, was Matthew Stafford, Megatron era. I forgot who was the running back at the time, maybe Reggie Bush. But that era, that was the last time they were good. But they only made the playoffs, and that's it. Like one game and they were out. But other than that, I've always watched the Lions do bad. It was sad, but I love that the franchise is turning things around, and they're 9-1 right now. Jaguars, you know them. Mac Jones just started for quarterback for the Jaguars. I think for the second game, maybe first game now. 138 yards, one interception. But he was 17 for 29. Not bad. But they only scored 6 points, which is field goals. Not the greatest for the Jaguars. That organization needs to get its act together. We got Rams versus Patriots. Rams won versus the Patriots. Don't have to go into that. Another game of the week. Ravens versus Steelers. Pretty good game. I heard a really good game. I didn't watch it, but personally, I watched the highlights and the stats, and it looked like they both did really good, defense and offense. Try to put that work in, but Steelers end up winning 18-16. Then we got Seahawks versus 49ers. Seahawks won 20-17. Seahawks might be a wildcard team. 49ers, I'm not sure. They're very injury prone right now. The team's very off. They're without Brandon Ayuk. CMC is back. It's like his second or third game. So we're not really sure where the 49ers is going to be heading to. It's very, very tricky because the organization is not on the right path right now. Next game, we got a Falcons versus Broncos. This one shocked me a lot. I thought the Falcons were going to win this because Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson. You have all these tools on the Falcons. You would think they would win, but no. They got shellacked by the Broncos, 38-6. Bo Nixon might be the Rookie of the Year quarterback, or Rookie of the Year overall. Been doing amazing. Let me check his stats. His stats was, let me see. 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 28 out of 33 completion. That's really good. He's definitely Rookie of the Year. I feel like him or Daniels, but who knows. Chiefs versus Bills. Chiefs just got their first loss of the season versus the Buffalo Bills. Bills won 30-21. Bills' defense is shocking for a lot of people. I think people didn't realize how good the defense was, but I'm happy for the Bills. They're doing their thing. They're trying to redeem themselves because every time they verse the Chiefs, they lose, especially the playoffs. Playoffs, different story, but they're showing who's the man now, pretty much. Then we got Bengals versus Chargers. Chargers won versus the Bengals. The Bengals came back like 24 points. And then the field goal really affected the win, and it was just not a good sign for the Bengals. It looked like they might not be in the playoffs. Who knows? Texans versus Cowboys. The Cowboys are a mess. We'll get into them more, but the Texans beat the Cowboys 34-10. But very interesting games this past week. Very interesting games. Let's talk about what else? Let's talk about. Let's see. What else in the NFL? Let's see. I'm trying to see what else. Injury, like I said, Aiden Hutchinson is out for most of the season. He might come to playoffs. Who knows? As for any other injuries, Brandon Ayuk's out for the season. Deshaun Watson out for the season. So good amount of key players out for the season affect some of these teams trying to go to the playoffs, but others not really. As for organization-wise, the New York Jets, dysfunctional. So, owner Woody Johnson says this. He said, I think early in the season, this is the best Jets team I ever saw in my life of owning this team. Bro, the season just started, number 1. And number 2, we were doing bad. And number 3, why are you saying this? And you wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers the week 4. The season just started and you want to bench him on week 4 because he wasn't doing good. Bro, coaching wasn't the greatest. Players weren't doing great. So why are you blaming Aaron Rodgers? Like I know Aaron Rodgers is part of the problem, but he's not the whole problem, you know? And you want to put in Tyrod Taylor instead. What? You pay all this money for Aaron Rodgers, to barely play? He didn't play last season at all. It didn't make any sense. And then I saw these news from Joe Douglas, the former GM, because Woody Johnson fired the GM. It's just very dysfunctional. The GM, I know he didn't have a good record. He had 30-64 record, but he was really good at drafting players. I know Zach Wilson wasn't the best, draft pick, but Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, DJ Reed, a couple of middle linebackers we got. But we have a lot of talent. But I think it's the combination of ego. I think the Jets do have a big ego. They think that they're that team, but they're not. Coaching isn't the best. Coaching is just horrendous. What else? Ownership. Woody Johnson needs to stop. And GM. I feel like GM is part of the issue, but I feel like what else they can do? They're drafting players, they're picking up players. They're really good players, but it's just have to show on the field. And I think coaching is one of the main issues of that. But Woody Johnson needs to stop. He needs to stop right now. He needs to focus on, going to London, having conversations over there, and let the football team be run as a football team. Don't be making choices. Stop. It's really irritating how some of these owners, they're billions of dollars, thinking that they know it all, they have all this money, and you want to take control of it. You cannot take control of a team if you don't even know what you're doing. You haven't made a playoff since Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan era. That was the last time we made a playoff, I think. Right? Yeah, I think so. So it's like you're turning to James Dolan the Knicks before he stopped. He made all these changes, trying to bring Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks, got rid of all the draft assets, all our good players, and we could have gotten him in the summertime. I know New Jersey Nets would have been a little bit of competition trying to get Melo, but he could have maybe come to the Knicks for pretty much nothing. And James Dolan ended up stopping, he stopped trying to get involved with the Knicks. I think he started to realize, I'm messing up this organization. Dang. And he stopped. And that's what Woody Johnson needs to learn from James Dolan. You need to step away from the team, let the team do their job, and you're going to start making money and winning ball games. But stop, bro. As a Jets fan, since I was little, I've been a Jets fan, and I'm sick and tired of their team losing. I honestly haven't watched a full season of the New York Jets since that time that they went to the, AFC Championship game. That was the last time I watched the Jets every single week. Every game. Not one game here, one game there, every single game. Because when I went to college, I watched them here and there, but they were still bad. It's very depressing. A New York fan in general is depressing. And you would think New York fans would be top of the world, winning everything. No. Our team's been bad. Last time we were really good, really good as a New York team, was the late 2000s when the Giants won, the Yankees won. The Knicks made the playoffs here and there. What else? Rangers were doing good. But hey, at least the New York Liberty, congratulations to them. Forgot about to mention them. They won the WNBA Finals. I forgot which team they versed. I don't know the WNBA that well, but I know they won the NBA Finals. Congratulations to them. At least they brought the New York a championship. Thank God. But it's been stressful for New York sports, but that's what you're going to do when it comes to being a fan of the Jets. Now, as for the Giants, they just benched Daniel Jones for Cutlass. If you guys know what's his name. They call him Cutlass because he's Italian from Jersey, and he's going to be starting quarterback for the Giants. That's a whole different thing. I'm not really a Giants fan, but I've been seeing that. They're very dysfunctional as well. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? But as for the Dallas Cowboys, they're another different stratosphere. They haven't won a playoff game They haven't won a home game this season at all. Last time they won was I think right before the season ended last year. Yeah, it's just been very weird in the NFL. I mean, it looked like I don't know about Dallas, but it looked like they might get rid of the head coach. Who knows? It sounds like Deion Sanders might want to join Dallas, but it sounds like if he's gonna come, he needs to draft his son, bro. But I saw a press conference that Deion Sanders is happy where he is with Colorado, and he doesn't want to leave. But you know how it is. Every time you see that from a coach, you're like, bro, he's not going to stay. And he might not. I have a feeling he might not stay, but if I was him, I would stay because you have all these brand deals. You're pretty much having a really good... Okay, that was weird. I just did this, and the thing popped up. You're having all this, you're having all this good success in college right now, trying to build a resume there. You're trying to be the next Nick Saban, which he's not going to. But I wouldn't leave if I was him. I would stay where he's at. It would be kind of silly ruining all of that just to go to the NFL with your son. And you don't even know how good you're going to do in the NFL because the NFL is totally different compared to college. College, you have young kids who need a mentor, who, is still learning how to become a man. The NFL, totally different. You have all these grown men in their 30s, maybe 40s, late 20s, who don't want to be listening to a guy that's old school football, And then you have an owner, Jerry Jones, very controlling. So Deion Sanders don't want to be controlled. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does really good in Dallas. Maybe, he does go there. But I think it would just be a silly mistake of going there. I feel like he would just ruin his reputation. I know we've seen coaches in the past. Nick Saban went to the Miami Dolphins and then went back to college. And then you got Harbaugh. He went to the 49ers and went to Michigan. And then he went back to the NFL. And now he's the Chargers head coach. Who knows? But I think it's just going to be a very silly move for Deion Sanders to go to the NFL. I know, get it, his son's there, but I don't know. Who knows? We just got to wait and see. Let's see any other NFL stuff. If not, then we'll move on. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the games coming up this week, and then we'll move on to basketball. So we're in week 12. We got the Steelers versus Browns. Steelers winning that one easily. Browns just no quarterback. Defense is alright, but Titans versus Texans. Texans winning that one. Titans is not a good team easily. Bears versus Vikings. I think Vikings win this one. I think the Bears got some heart. They might try and win it, but I think the Vikings are winning. They're 7-2 right now. Cowboys versus Commanders. I'm going to give it to Commanders. They have a good team overall. Cowboys, dysfunctional, like I pretty much just talked about, dysfunctional. Patriots versus Dolphins. Going to be a tough game, back and forth. If I had to guess, I'll say Dolphins by a little. Both teams are not the greatest. They might be a wildcard team. Who knows? Dolphins might be. I don't know about the Patriots. Chiefs versus Panthers. Chiefs. I don't have to explain why. Buccaneers versus Giants. I'm going to go for the Bucs by a little bit. I know they have a lot of injury-prone players, but you have Baker Mayfield, you got the running back, you got a good solid defense. Giants, not sure. Lions versus Colts. I'm going to go for Lions easily. Don't have to explain why. Broncos versus Raiders. I think the Broncos are going to win. They beat the Falcons. They're definitely going to beat the Raiders. The Raiders are 10 times worse, 100 times worse than the Falcons. Falcons are not a bad team, but you guys know what I mean. Cardinals versus Seahawks. I think the head-to-head battle for this one, I'm going to give the edge for the Seahawks. If you know Geno Smith, when he gets going, he gets going. We got 49ers versus Packers. I'm going to give it to the Packers. Defense is pretty good. Offense does get on a roll. 49ers, they're still slow. They impact a lot of injuries. I'm not confident in them. I think the Packers are going to win this one. Eagles versus Rams. I'm going to give it to Eagles. No question about that. Barkley's going to do a thing. And then we got Ravens versus Chargers. I'm giving it to the Ravens easily on that one. Now, if I'm going to choose game of the week, I'm going to choose... I can't really choose some of these teams because they're versing a really bad team, a lot of them. Or they're versing a team that's not really game of the week. But I'm going to go for Cardinals versus Seahawks. That seems like more of a head-to-head battle than any other team. You know what I mean? But yeah. Now, actually, before we go to NBA, I want to ask you guys this. Who's going to win MVP this season? It's very debatable. Let's see. Excuse me. You guys think Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Barkley, or... Yeah. So Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, or Barkley. Which of those 4 players you think will win the MVP? I think, in my opinion, I would think, that's kind of hard because, yeah, Josh Allen literally had Amari Cooper, but, like, you don't really have nobody special on that team. He's just doing whatever he got to do to try and win the games. Then you got Derrick Henry. He does his thing, but not the level of Saquon Barkley's doing. He's on a different stratosphere. Lamar Jackson's doing his thing too, but I feel like Barkley has the edge over all of them. Every week he's like racking up touchdowns and yards like crazy. I think Barkley's gonna win it if he stays on his level. It doesn't get injured. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else. I think Barkley might actually win it. Comment down below you guys think who's gonna win it. I think Barkley 100%. And that's it for the NFL. I think next week we'll talk about the standings more. But let's talk about the NBA a little bit now. So the NBA, we're gonna talk more of the NBA standings right now, since a lot of shocking standings right now, as many of us were like, what? You know? But let's talk about the standings of each team. The Eastern Conference, Cavs are 16-1. If you guys may not heard about the Cavs, they were undefeated for 15 games, 16 games straight. No, 15 games, not bad. They won last night. But 15 games straight, they won. And then they versus the Celtics and lost. As you know, Boston is the champion of last season. And I don't think they're going to lose, for sure. Boston is just too good. But Cavs 16-1, I think a lot of us were shocked that they were 16-1 because they thought they were going to be a mid team, like a 10-6 seed team, but not number 1. But props to the Cavs. I feel like the Brooklyn Nets made a mistake on that one of not keeping Kenny Atkins. Because when Kenny Atkins was on the Nets, they brought the Nets to the playoffs, I think, twice. And they had Russell that pretty much helped him form into the player that he was. Jared Allen helping him become a really defensive player. Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. And the Nets were good. But then you bring KD, Kyrie, and Harden, you want to change everything. Like, come on, man. Because they want to be in control of everything. And Kenny Atkins lost his job. And he was a very respectable coach during that time. And now you see he's even more respectable because look at the team, how well he's doing right now with the Cavs. But props to Kenny Atkins doing his thing, the Cavs as well. Celtics, 12-3. As you know, really good team. The Knicks, 9-6. Won 4 games straight. I told you guys that I talked to outside of YouTube that the Knicks are going to get back on track and they're going to do well and gel well together, and they're doing good. They beat the Suns by like 40, by almost 20 last night. They're doing their thing. The Magic, 97, good without Pablo, if that's his name right. Miami Heat, 6-7, kind of off with them. Pistons, 7-9, shocking because Pistons are usually like 2-10 or whatever. They're usually one of the worst teams in the league, but for some reason they're doing pretty good. So I think the coaching is helping a lot. He started to have rules in place for the Pistons players to follow, and I think it's helping them a lot having this record. I know it's not the best, but it's better than years past. Hawks 7-9. Can't really get into detail of the Hawks. They're strange. Nets 6-9. Nets are a little bit shocking. A lot of people thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the East, but pretty good right now. But what I heard that they might get rid of Cam Thompson and Dennis Schroeder. Cam Thompson's really young, but I guess they want to move on because of money-wise. Who knows? I don't know. It's strange. Dennis Schroeder, I kind of can see why, but hey, Pacers 6-9. As you know, Tyrese Halliburton is overrated. That's why I think he's overrated. Yeah. Bucks 6-9. They're one of the most shocking teams right now at that record because you got Giannis, Lillard, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton. I know Middleton's injured, and the coaching staff isn't the greatest. You have Darvin Ham, you got Doc Rivers, and they're not really gelling that well. But come on, that much players on that team. Come on. But I think they'll turn it around. It's just going to take a little time. Bulls are 6-10. It sounds like the Bulls might get rid of their star players. It all depends on how the season unfolds in the middle of the season. I feel like if they don't do well, they're going to get rid of their center, Vucevic, if that is right. Now, I don't think Kobe White's going to get traded. I think they want to keep him. Really good. Zach LaVine, they definitely want to get rid of him, but contract is so big they might have to try and offer to pay some of his contract. They want to get rid of him. Who knows? But the Bulls do have a good team. They just need to win games. Hornets 5-9. They're like that always, honestly. Raptors 3-12. The Raptors, though, they're a low-key good team. Like, I know that the record doesn't show it, but if you see them play, they got a lot of young pieces. They got RJ Barrett doing his thing. Quickly does his thing. I know he's injured, but he does his thing. They got it, but they need to learn how to play well with one another. But we'll see. But I'm going to root for them as well. Wizards 2-11. Trash, though. Bad. Kyle Kuzma made fun of the Pistons last season being one of the worst teams in the league, but the Pistons are 7-9, buddy. You're 2-11. Who's laughing now? You don't make fun of another team. You can't even get your team into the playoffs, bro. Kyle Kuzma's doing bad. Jordan Poole's the only one carrying them. You have a bunch of young, upcoming rookies. Awesome. But they're still learning, so it's not entirely their fault. They're still new to the NBA. But you have Valanciunas, he barely plays. He plays on a bench. I don't even know why he's even on that team. They're trying to trade him away. How are you going to trade him away if he barely plays a lot of minutes? And then you have Malcolm Bogdanovic, is that right? Or, as you know, the guy who wanted to play for the Wizards, He might be traded, but who knows? Teams want him. He's really good. He's still good at that level. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, 2-11. Bad. Really bad. The thing about them is that they're very dysfunctional right now because they're 2-11. They're supposed to be one of the top teams in the East. But no. Injuries of Tyrese Maxey hold them back. Joel Embiid and Paul George. Yeah, pretty bad. It doesn't make any sense because, Joel Embiid sounds like he doesn't want to play back-to-back games. He doesn't want to play that many games overall. I get it, injuries, but come on. You're MVP, you get paid a lot of money. People out here 40 hours a week trying to make ends meet and you're complaining you don't want to play a lot of games. That's not right. What else? Paul George. I don't know what that was. I had a feeling he was just not going to do well with the Sixers because of injury prone. He just got injured last night. It looked like he might be out for a couple of weeks. Who knows? His legs hyperextended during a rebound, which isn't the greatest, so we're not sure how that's going to work out for him. I love his podcast, but buddy, get on the field and play. Not on the field, on the court and play. Last time he played a full season was, I think, in Indiana. I don't remember him playing a full season in LA. I don't know. I don't think so. But 76ers need to stop, bro. I know they're all calling each other out. Like an hour and a half of a meeting with the whole team and the coaches and all. They need to get it together, bro. As for the Western Conference, let's talk about them. Warriors are 11-3. Kind of shocking. People thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league because of how the roster looked. But hey, you don't need all that firepower on the team. You just gotta, work together and do well. Thunders are 12-4. Awesome. You do want the Thunder to do well. They have a really good team overall. Free agency was really good. Definitely saw them as a top 5, top 3 team in the West. The Lakers 10-4. A little bit shocking. You would think the Lakers would be more like mid to lower ranking in the West, but hey, JJ Redick doing good. We'll talk about Bronny James soon. To finish it out first, because I'm not impressed with him. Rockets are 11-5. People thought they were going to be another kind of team, but hey, they're doing really good. Center Sengun, or I don't know his name, Sengun, or I don't know. But he's really good. He got 3 triple-doubles, 3 games straight. Doing amazing for the Rockets. Denver, 8-5, a little bit shocking. I know Aaron Gordon out for a couple of weeks. And then Joker's a little bit injured here and there. Murray too, so I get it. Timberwolves 8-6. Kind of can see them be right there. I had a feeling they were going to be in the 6, 7, 8 range. Of course. Suns 9-7. I don't know what they're doing. KD is out. He looks like he might be coming back this Monday coming up. Who knows? I don't know why they have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker all of them on the same team. It's not working, bro. Your record doesn't show how your team looks. It's bad. I don't know what that organization's doing. Grizzlies 9-7. Kind of can see it. A couple of injuries here and there. Got a good rookie center. Doing pretty good. I know he's out for a couple of games. But overall, could see the Grizzlies be there. Maybe a little bit better. Clippers 9-7. I had a feeling they were going to be 9-7. But James Harden's doing his thing. Norman Powell doing his thing. Zubac doing his thing. So, not the greatest, but, hey, better than being last place. Mavericks 8-7. You have Klay Thompson, Luka, and Kyrie, and you're 8-7, bro. Luka's not playing no defense. Don't get me started with that. Kings are 8-7. I kind of see it. Injuries of DeRozan and Sabonis. Kind of can see it. But if they weren't injured, I think they would be top 5, top 6 team in the West for sure. Spurs 7-8. Not bad. I feel like they could do a little better, but better than last season. Last season, I think they started out like one of the worst teams in the league. So not bad. Much more improvement with that. By the way, I hope Popovich gets well. I know he's out for a couple of weeks already. I don't know what illness he had, but I hope he recovers fast. Now let's talk about the Trailblazers 6-9. Trailblazers, I don't even know what they're doing. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. Last but not least, the last two, Pelicans 4-12. Injury, 90% of their high salary players on that team injured. Murray, McCollum, Ingram, Alvarado, Hawkins, all injured. So I kind of see why they're 4-12. You're putting a bunch of rookies and G League players in it, but looks like Murray might be coming back soon. Hawkins too, CJ I think as well. So we'll see if they turn it around. Zion, I don't know what he's doing. my boy wanted to trade me for Paul George and Zion for Sabonis. And they weren't injury prone, bro. I wouldn't accept it, but no, because I didn't accept that. Last but not least, Jazz 3-11. A little bit shocking on them because last season when they first started, they were like one of the top 5 teams in the West, but I don't know what happened. No idea. All right, what else for NBA? Let's see. Okay, breaking news. Luka Doncic sustained a wrist injury and will be reevaluated in a week. This is a blow for the Mavs. So now Kyrie, Thompson, and others got to step up. A little bit shocking on that part. What else? What else in the NBA that happened? Isaiah Hartenstein, former Knick, made his debut last night. He had 13 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 assists in 28 minutes as the Thunder won that game. Awesome signing for the Thunder. I'm kind of jealous as a Knicks fan. They should have kept him, but hey, what are you gonna do? What else? Yeah, other stuff happened, other injuries, but like small role players injured. Knicks are doing really good. Like I said, they're pretty much working together as a team. Finally, I'm happy for them. Yeah, I'm really happy for them. That's it for the NBA. Let me double check before we wrap it up. I might have to add 1 or 2 more things before we wrap this podcast up. Trying to look through my notes. What else? Oh, okay. But one more thing before we wrap it up. Aaron Rodgers. So it sounds like Aaron Rodgers might, I don't know, it sounds like it's all over the place. So he might stay with the Jets. He might not. He might retire. Who knows? It sounds like there's a couple of orders that might be happening. Either he might retire. That's the first thing. The other 3 teams that might want him is the Las Vegas Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, and the Minnesota Vikings. That would sound like the more highly, sought out places that he might go, which I highly doubt the Raiders because they don't have that good of a team. Defense is good, but not to the level that they should be at. Offense, not that great. Titans are just horrible. Don't talk about them. The Vikings, they already have Sam Darnold and a rookie quarterback, so why would you bring him in? Pull it, Brett Favre? No. So it sounds like either he'll stay with the Jets. Maybe that's the only good option that can make the playoffs. And then the Giants, maybe. I don't know. It sounds like he might just stay with the Jets because that's the only option that can actually make the playoffs. But who knows? It's been a disaster. I feel like Rodgers doesn't, own up. I feel like he just talks about his little rituals and it's he's a little diva, bro. He is. I'm not going to go into detail about the Jets. I'm tired of talking about them. But, yeah, guys, I really think that, this is a good podcast, this one. I know it's a little bit short of a podcast, but I just wanted to go over the teams, of how well they've been doing, and some information about players, what we're going to do. I think for NBA, guessing who's gonna win, we might do like a separate video of who's gonna win this week and put like a tally. Who knows? Me and Meech are gonna talk about it, and we're gonna see how we're gonna sort that out for every week of NBA games. NFL games, simple. We're just on it talking about it, but NBA is much more longer. It's a lot of more games for each team. Yeah, we're still getting into the whole groove of the podcast, the second episode. We appreciate everyone for watching and subscribing to the channel. And also before we go, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the video.